Get my hands on as many balls as I could, and take advantage of that. Caitlin? Yeah. We done.
Oh, Lex.
We got a team that
It was soon.
Do you see how happy Caitlin Clark is after escaping the tension and pressure of the WNBA? While the WNBA and its fans are losing their minds over her massive contract in Europe, Clark is seemingly happy to join the European League, and they can't wait to have her.
What the prevailing thoughts coming into this day, you know it's your last day, and those first 5 minutes compared to what you're feeling maybe now. Take us through the emotions of the day for you.
I think the biggest thing is, coming to this day, honestly, I'm just fortunate. I know this is the end. To be able to have that, whether that's sad, whether that's happy, whether that's, whatever, I think.
What was once a rumor is now a cold, hard fact, and it has got the fans twitching on their seats. The chaos is real, and the fans can't make sense of it anymore. Some of the fans are still trying to wake up from the nightmare of Caitlin Clark leaving the WNBA.
35, 10, and 6 for you. And what we were just talking about, Caitlin, is that you guys consistently are getting everybody's best game. Where does the energy, the motivation for you personally come from to deliver night in and night out?
I think just, being grateful that I get to take the court every single night with these girls. The opportunities are slowly dwindling for this season, and, that's just what it's kind of about. Come out and compete every night, no matter what season it is or what game it is. That's what it's all about. I thought we stepped up and played really well. I thought our first half we kind of slacked a little bit, but played some good defense there in the second half. They made some tough shots. They made tough twos, and that's what we're going to give up. But overall, I thought we, competed well. Nice to get everybody in the game, and just proud of our group.
But it is not just the fans that are scratching their heads at this unexpected news. Analysts and sports personalities are still trying to make sense of Caitlin Clark's surprise decision.
She was chosen #1 in the WNBA draft and took a team that had won 30 combined games over the previous 4 years to its first playoff berth since 2016. Clark had a rookie record-setting year. Here she is.
I feel like basketball has really consumed my life for a year, so I feel like it'll be good for me to kind of reflect back on everything that's happened. I feel like I didn't even have time to really reflect on my college career because it ended so fast. And then I came here and was trying to give everything I could to this team. And it was special. There was a lot of things that this group accomplished that, a lot of people probably didn't think was possible.
All right, Caitlin finally getting a moment to breathe, right? As she just mentioned, didn't even get to reflect it all on her college career and just jumped right into things and had an epic season. How would you describe, Janae, her historic career? A year this far.
Yeah, Caitlin Clark came into the WNBA as the most impactful women's basketball player we've seen in a generation.
In truth, the enormity of the situation is hard to grasp, especially when you consider the significant contributions Caitlin Clark has made to the growth of the WNBA in her rookie season. Now, she is set to embark on a journey across the Atlantic. Basketball fans around the world are now confronted with a pivotal question. How did it get to this point? Why will a rising star like Clark, who has thrilled fans, choose such a daring path?
Yeah, I think one of the best decisions I've ever made in my life is, committing to Coach Fluter and committing to play for the University of Iowa, whether it's, the way our fans have supported me, whether it's been the way I've been able to represent my state where I grew up and I love the game of basketball, whether it's been my family being at every single game. There's not a regret in my mind of how things went. I'll be able to sleep every night even though I never won a national championship. And I think that's the thing about everything I've done is there's so much to be proud of. I don't sit and sulk about the things that never happened. I just, my mom always taught me keep your head high, be proud of everything that you accomplished, and I think I'm still hungry for a lot more too. It's gonna be a little weird, I think. I'm probably going to want to run out there on the court and keep playing for Coach Fluter. I wish I could have the best of both worlds, but I can't.
The surprise extends beyond her decision to leave itself. It is about the broader implications. With Caitlin Clark heading to Europe, what could it mean for the future of the WNBA and Women's League in the United States and the rest of the world?
I just think that she's elevating the profile of women's sports in a way that most women should deeply, deeply, deeply appreciate. She's a phenomenal player. She's a phenomenal shooter. I call her the Steph Curry of women's basketball. I've been calling her that since last year. And to speak to her, to be around her, she's got charisma, she's got style, she's got bravado, she's got class, she's smart as hell. Communicates her thoughts very, very well. She is so incredibly marketable that what she is doing on the collegiate level, her coming into the WNBA, you could just feel, I don't want to use the word resentment at all, because it's not fair to women basketball players out there who may have critiqued her. But what I'm saying is that when you're talking about her greatness, it is perfectly okay for those who have been great to say, okay, let's see what you've got.
Above all, how will the European League receive her when she graces their courts? Caitlin Clark is not like any other player that has come into the WNBA. She is exceptional. Everything she steps into the court, the entire atmosphere changes and becomes electrified. She brings something special to the game that others don't possess. Her incredible shooting precision, bravery, and robust presence is transformative to the game.
On ESPN since 2019, the WNBA draft ratings were up 300% to 2.45 million. But the president is wrong here. She is compensated fairly. I'm sorry. After all, the one person not complaining here is Caitlin Clark. She clearly is happy with this arrangement. We should also focus on the $500,000 that the commissioner says she will likely earn through incentives, not on her base salary. Ultimately, the WNBA players, like every professional league, collectively bargain their contracts and their share of the revenues as well. And while NBA players receive around half of league revenues, WNBA players do not. And the simple reason is they didn't meet thresholds laid out in their contract. The WNBA had revenues around $200 million last year, the NBA $10.5 billion. One part of that discrepancy is attendance.
These qualities have made her a sensation not only in the United States, but globally. From her record-breaking college basketball days to her extraordinary rookie season in the WNBA, Clark continues to exceed expectations, break new grounds, and redefine the game.
Caitlin Clark adding another milestone, her latest coming Sunday in the Indiana Fever's 92-75 win over the Seattle Storm, as she broke the WNBA single-season rookie mark for assists. Stephen A.
She's the real deal. Listen, I believed in her from day one. You knew that she would only get better and better. She's averaging 17.8 points this season, 41% shooting, 33% from three-point range, leading the league in assists. Her last 5 games, Shannon, 22.5 points per game on 46% shooting, 11.4 assists per game. They've won 4 of their last 5, and now the Indiana Fever are 7th place overall and in playoff positioning. Caitlin Clark is real. She's coming, and I still contend she should have been on Team USA, Shannon. You saw the attendance for Team USA compared to everybody else. If she was on that team, that wouldn't have been a problem. I stand by my position from day one. She's real.
Now, as she makes this career-defining move to Europe, it marks another amazing chapter in her already special career. Fans who have cheered for her since her college days are filled with admiration for her courage to face new challenges.
It's a sold-out crowd here in Gainbridge Fieldhouse as the Indiana Fever return for the second half of the 2024 season. And the 2024 season is one these fans will never forget.
Go Fever! Go Fever! Go Fever!
Fans from Iowa, South Carolina, Vermont, Texas, and even as far as Canada filled the stands Friday night to celebrate the return of the most watched team in the WNBA after a month-long hiatus.
It's our first time here, so we're just excited to come from Iowa, to come here, help support women's sports, basketball, Caitlin Clark, the whole business.
It's everything. Girl dad, shout out all the girl dads out there. I love it to be able to come here, have fun, give my daughter the trip up. It's a trip of a lifetime.
My wife talked me into getting season tickets last year, and I'm so glad she did because we enjoy the heck out of this. This is just amazing.
We're ready to scream our lips off.
Yeah, I'm ready to lose my voice.
She has always paved her own path, but this new decision puts her in a completely new environment. The league in Europe is known for its tough competition, distinct style of play. How will she adjust? Will her remarkable shooting precision and playmaking skill transfer to the European League?
Not clear what she'll do. Current rights holders, ESPN ABC and Turner/TNT, are considered the favorites, but NBC/Peacock wants back in the game, and all eyes, of course, are on streaming. Amazon is a heavy favorite to get a package of games. YouTube, Apple, and even Netflix could factor in, and this will dramatically increase the money headed to both men's and women's players. Reports suggest the league is looking to double or even triple their current $24 billion annual deal. But ultimately, the question is this, and I thought Dr. Collins laid it out perfectly. An admission here, Kristen. I've never watched a WNBA game. I've never been to a WNBA game. Have you done either, or will you now that she's in the league?
So Dave, this is a very good question for me because I have a very good answer. One, I'm from Iowa. So of course I fell in love with Clark when she played at Iowa. Two, I do think she's a good entertainer.
Honestly, no one is sure how her career will pan out in Europe, and that uncertainty is what makes her story thrilling. Fans and analysts are eager to see how Caitlin Clark will navigate this new, unfamiliar territory. Will the number 22 dominate like she did in the WNBA?
She's only the second rookie to lead the league in assists. The other one was Tisha Penicheiro back in 1998. And I think the other thing you look at is only 2 other rookies have ever finished in the top 4 in MVP voting. Of course, Candace Parker set the standard in 2008 when she also won MVP. Diana Taurasi finished 3rd in MVP voting in 2004. And of course, Caitlin Clark this year finished 4th. And then of course, when you look at what she helped do off of the court, there's not been another singular force like Caitlin Clark in terms of driving TV ratings and ticket sales. There's no comp for her in that regard.
Absolutely. She has been must-see all season long, and just to think where she is going to go from here is really, really exciting. I gotta say though, Rebecca, a lot of fans, they were anticipating Caitlin Clark becoming the 6th ever unanimous Rookie of the Year. Obviously, that did not come to fruition. She was just 1 vote shy. Were you surprised at all?
I wasn't really surprised, just because anytime you have 67 people voting on something, everyone's not going to have the same opinion. And Angel Reese, of course, had a terrific season.
Whatever happens, one thing is clear. This announcement has sparked a buzz throughout the entire basketball community.
What did it to you reveal that you guys need in the future?
Yeah. Like we talked about in our locker room after the game ended, where obviously people were pretty disappointed in the outcome. I think it gave us a taste of where we wanted to be. At the same time, I felt like we could have done a little bit more to help it get back here for a game 3, and that's what really kind of stunk about the whole thing. But I thought it gave us a taste of where we wanted to be, and that's exactly the message that Christy iterated throughout the locker room, and that our coaches kind of iterated when they talked, is just that, you know, you have to let this kind of burn inside of you and let it kind of bother you in a way that it's going to drive you through the off season. How's it going to make you work? You got a taste of getting to the playoffs. Obviously, we haven't been there since 2016.
For the European League, getting a player like Caitlin Clark to join them is a huge victory, because it shows how serious they are in becoming a leading force in women's sports.
I mean, I thought they tossed a lot of different lineups at us. I think at times, whether they went small with Clark at the 4, or whether they went big with Stokes at the 4, I thought we could have done a better job of getting some high-lows, especially when Clark was playing at the 4. But I don't know, I think moving the ball a little bit better, obviously. Like, we struggled to shoot it again very well. I mean, I thought we played really good defense and put ourselves in a position to win the game. Missing 9 free throws really hurts us. So I think we could have done a little bit better job adjusting and trying to exploit the certain things that you can, whether they're giving us a small lineup or a bigger lineup.
Over the past few years, the Basketball League in Europe has been growing in reputation, pulling in amazing talents, and getting the attention of the whole world.
How much was the rust a factor today? I mean, was it hard just playing for the first time after a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I think that's always the case. I thought Holy Cross came out and played really well. I thought they executed their stuff really well. I thought they made some tough shots, but I think the biggest thing is like they really just clogged the paint. And we kind of tried to force some stuff early. We needed to move the ball a little bit more, get some back-to-back drives. So I think that was the biggest thing is like don't force stuff into the paint when they're all just sitting there. And we learned for that, and then we had a really, really good second quarter. So I'm proud of us for finding a way to respond.
Gabby got off to a good start shooting too. That helps.
Yeah, it's always good to see Gabby knock down some threes. I think her energy is contagious when she can do that for sure.
Caitlin, this crowd electric as always. Just kind of talk about this, and I know we didn't talk much yesterday because there was 2 games hopefully to be played, but how big of a game is, just besides the Sweet 16, but being the last game here at Carver on Monday?
Yeah, I think it's really exciting. I think this crowd was great. I think when Gabby hit that first 3, the place about erupted, and I know they love Gab more than anything. When she's able to knock down shots, it gives us so much energy. And
however, adding Clark to the European League is more than bringing a new player to the league. It is a strong indication that European basketball is ready to compete with the best in the world.
Taking a look back at the last 20 years, they've unfortunately been met with a stalemate, but enter 2024 and the Caitlin Clark effect. While there are other rookies who have brought eyes, notably Angel Reese, and many other current superstars who have shined a light on their talents, notably Asia Wilson, the league has without a doubt been elevated by the attention and spotlight brought in by the logo shooting guard from Indiana by way of Iowa. He went on to say, while the league saw initial success from the inaugural 1997 season up until 2003, we have seen a steady consistency throughout the league with the exception of a big dip due to COVID. But this year there will be 5 teams, possibly 7, that will finish the 2024 season averaging over 10,000 fans per game. Since 2004, not a single team has even done that once. So if we take a look at this line chart, we can see the dip in 2021 because of COVID, and then this huge spike in 2024. He then linked out to another chart that says the yearly league attendance by team. So if we look at this chart for the 2024 season, the Indiana Fever are pretty much blowing out every other team.
For many years, the WNBA was perceived as the pinnacle of women's basketball. But things are gradually changing as the European leagues are rising up and asserting its significance. With the remarkable talents and dynamic team spirit Clark often shows, we can expect an elevated standard of play in the league.
It seems like this team just tried to play physical. Do you pride yourself on being a physically tough player to kind of play that style of basketball as well?
Yeah, I think everybody is going to be physical from here on out. That's just kind of how it goes. And I honestly thought the refs called a few more fouls than I was expecting to. Usually in the postseason, they don't really call much. I thought they kind of blew a tight game, but I think the biggest thing going forward is like you can't expect those calls. It's going to be physical no matter who we play. That's how it's always been in the postseason. They're just not going to call it. You can't expect them to call it. But I think it's also, like, I've seen physicality all year long. That's just how people guard me. They're going to be up in my space. They're going to be pressuring me. They're going to be holding me. So I don't think it's anything like I'm not used to by any means.
When Hannah wasn't feeling well and had to sit out, Addie really seemed like her confidence was there. Can you just start with how her confidence is sort of built to be ready to step in moments like that?
Yeah, I think Addie's just one of those players that has really just been working really hard, and she knows her role. She knows what we need her to contribute. But also I think Addie just gives us a whole different dynamic than Hannah. Like, they're so different, but they're both so good in their unique own ways.
The advantage of that is more support will be drawn to European basketball because Clark's presence will ignite fresh interest from every corner of the world.
Caitlin Clark last night finished up one of the most remarkable years of basketball playing in quite some time. Because we could talk about her WNBA season, and we will, but her final season at Iowa was something to behold, and she went right from that into the WNBA season. I mean, right away. As soon as her college season ended, just days later, she was drafted by the Indiana Fever. And I just remember being at the Combine in early March. That was the talk of the town. In addition to what we were seeing out of the Pacers and the Combine being there, it's like Caitlin Clark's coming here, the Big Ten tournament going down in Indianapolis for so many years. A lot of folks there in Indy had got a front row seat to see her with Iowa, and then she is drafted.
And it is not just the European League they gains from Clark's presence. fans in Europe are buzzing with excitement at the thought of watching the Rookie of the Year play. For many of them, it is a rare opportunity to see one of the best players of her generation in front of them.
For reasons other than just their elite play at that particular moment in time.
She
was a
proved everybody
marketing whiz.
right.
And
She proved everyone right because she is a marketing whiz and she did it on the court. That's what I'm saying.
We were saying,
everyone right.
Molly.
So you were ahead of the curve.
You're not listening, Molly. You're not listening. I'm talking about your point, Molly. Your point.
And I'm
your
explaining
point was,
it to you.
At the end of the day, we were making the point, do you want to promote the league or not? And people like Andrea and others were resistant to that playing a role in somebody making the roster for Team USA. And we were saying, hell with that. You want to promote the sport. You put that girl up in there. And people were appalled at that notion.
The energy is electric, with social media lighting up as fans from different countries anxiously await her debut game. You can make an argument that the European League has become more exciting. Clark is not just a player, it is a name everyone recognizes in the league. Her presence made stadiums come alive and kept fans eager on their screens. Now, her leaving the WNBA will create a vacuum, and many fans don't want it to happen this way. However, significant challenges face Clark as European leagues are known for disciplined and cooperative gameplay. So simply relying on her shooting precision will not be enough. She will need to come up with new ways to contribute to her team. Do you think Caitlin Clark will leave for Europe? Let's know your thoughts in the comments section. Remember to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and smash the notification bell.